Dot Hack Sign is an anime that aired in 2002 in Japan and 2003 elsewhere in the world. Now, the simple plot of the anime is that it takes part in an MMORPG world, which might sound a little bit familiar to an anime that I actually have not watched yet. So, because I have not watched this anime, I'm going to go to my expert on Sword Art Online, my close and personal friend Andrew Aroa McFain, and he is going to tell you all about Sword Art Online.
The thing about Sword Art Online is that it was the original people stuck inside of a digital world, particularly an MMO kind of anime. And while most anime come from a manga, Sword Art Online came from a light novel. And this is my favorite selection from that light novel. I could feel my hot sperm gushing deep into Asuna as she trembled in yet another climax. 2 years' worth of semen made a glopping noise as it flowed endlessly into Asuna. Every time my penis twitched, fireworks would go off in my head. Ah! Ah! After receiving all I had to give her, Asuna's strength gave out as she fell on top of me. Ah! Ah! I gently embraced Asuna while she continued to gasp and convulse as if she was being stimulated by the fluids inside her body as my consciousness dimmed. Well, that's storytelling. That is how you do it. Dot Hack got nothing on that.
Thanks, Aroa. Let's get on with the review now. Dot Hack / Sign takes place in a video game world called The World. People access the world like they would any other MMORPG, basically by logging in with their computers. There are a few scenes of the real world in the anime, and from the few glimpses that we do see they are wearing VR headsets. I guess VR games really are the way of the future. I don't get it. The main plot involves a Wave Master named Tsukasa. Tsukasa is trapped in the world and cannot log out. The whole series is based around this character discovering himself within the world and seeing if there's a way to log out of the game. I'm going to tell you right now that there will be massive spoilers in this overview, so if you want to avoid spoilers, please stop watching right now. Let's take a moment to look at the visual style of this anime. It is serviceable, but not that great. A lot of the time, the characters are just standing around with only their lips moving while the characters stand still. It works and isn't bad, but it's not as well animated as a lot of the other anime that is made today. Also, the dialogue is pretty awkward at times, with the voice acting being passing, but sometimes on the bad side.
Well, he's certainly a shy one.
Part of the reason I really like this anime, even though I've seen it over 10 years ago, was because when I first watched it, I had first started playing Final Fantasy XI. That was my first MMORPG experience. I had noticed that a lot of the characters in the anime were very similar to people I was playing the game with in real life, so that really helped me connect to the characters. We all know somebody like Mimiru. She's very headstrong and is willing to run into situations where she might lose because she thinks it might be fun, but her heart's usually in the right place. Likewise, we all know somebody like Subaru. She's somebody who really isn't interested in leveling or getting the best item in the game. She really just wants to be in the game. The reason she wants to be in the game is revealed later on by a character in the anime, and it's actually revealed that she is in a wheelchair in real life. The only way she is able to move around, run, and jump is through virtual means, which is basically the reason why she wants to be in the game. Subaru is the leader of a group of knights called the Crimson Knights, and one of the knights, the Silver Knight, is a stickler for the rules. He has a very strict code of honor and takes the game far more serious than somebody like Mimiru. Bear is calm and collected, always trying to be a father figure to Tsukasa. He reminds me of the older players who are always trying to mentor new players in guilds. Krim, along with Subaru, are the founding members of the Crimson Knights. He ended up quitting the Crimson Knights because he just wasn't having fun with it. He also likes to separate his real life from his in-game life. There are, however, implications that him and Subaru had a relationship at one time. Tsukasa is the main character of the anime, and it is slowly revealed what has happened to him. He is logged into the game 24 hours a day because he is actually in a coma in the real world. It is hinted upon in the first few episodes and said rather bluntly later on that he is actually a female in the real world. It is implied as well that Tsukasa was abused by her father. There is also a blossoming relationship with Subaru that happens throughout the series. And then there's Sora. You know that guy who plays the game that everyone hates even though he's amazingly good at the game? Yeah, that's Sora. Sora will track down female players, telling them that he will kill them if they don't give him their member addresses. He's not necessarily a bad guy, but I always imagine him as like a 13-year-old kid. Now that we've gone over the characters, I'm going to go over the story a bit. Now this is going to be really brief. It's going to cut through a lot of the filler and just basically go right to the storyline stuff that I felt was really important. And even I skipped some of that. So if you're really interested in the anime, I urge you to watch it because I'm not going to cover everything in this overview. Tsukasa is trapped in the world and cannot log out. For some reason, he has powers that aren't normally available to people unless they are hacking the game. One of the powers is that he can teleport when and where people wouldn't normally be able to teleport. He even has this little home base with a girl in it named Aura and a cat monster who helps him out. He is also given a guardian in the game who can take care of any monster or character put in front of him. Tsukasa eventually realizes that the Guardian and Cat Monster are not looking out for his best interest when the Guardian starts to attack his friends. So Tsukasa and his friends embark to find the Key of the Twilight, which is something they mention a lot in the anime.
The Key of the Twilight.
Key of the Twilight.
Key of the Twilight.
The Key of the Twilight. Key of the Twilight. The Key of the Twilight. Key of the Twilight.
There are quite a few episodes dedicated to them trying to find the Key of the Twilight, and while they do end up finding the creator of the game, who added himself into the game as some sort of Easter egg, they do not find the Key of the Twilight. Eventually, Helba, who is a hacker, helps the group get to an area called Net Slum. That is a place where junk code is stored, and they are able to see that whoever's keeping Tsukasa locked in the world was trying to create copies of Tsukasa in order to wake Aura up. Since they failed at waking Aura up on their own, they decided they wanted to capture the real Tsukasa so that they could wake her up. Eventually, Tsukasa is able to meet up with Aura again. She was taken from him earlier in the series. Tsukasa is finally able to get her to wake up, and it looks like there is going to be a big boss fight, and nothing. They prepare for the fight, and then it just cuts out to the real world. You see Tsukasa and Subaru meet on the street, color comes to the world, and that's it. I left out a lot of stuff in this overview, such as Sora becoming a good guy again and actually saving Tsukasa and being punished for it and going into a coma himself. Some of the other stuff I left out was like the building relationship between Subaru and Tsukasa. Now I mentioned it a little bit, but I didn't actually go into how it progressed. So if you want to catch all of that, go and watch the full anime. I did this overview / review honestly because I want to play through the video games. So I will be playing through all 4 of the original games that came out on the PlayStation 2. If there's enough interest in that, then I will move on and actually play through the GU series that came out on the PlayStation 2 as well. I will be doing a review on each game in the series, so all 4 of the original will have their own review, and if I decide to do the GU versions, then those will each get a review themselves. So I thank you for watching and hope you guys have a great day. Of course, subscribe to me, press the like button, follow me on Twitter at Reetin on Twitter, follow me on Twitch and Beam, again same thing, Reetin on Beam and Reetin on Twitch. We are actually doing a Beam only stream on Monday nights, It's going to be the Jackbox Party Pack every single Monday night. That way we can get our audience involved. It's going to be a great time, so if you're interested, come and hang out. It's from 7 to 9 p.m. at least every Monday, and that's Pacific time, so that will be 10 Eastern. I know it's a little bit late on Mondays. So, anyway, thank you for your time. Have a great day.